Hi everyone, Coach B here. I'm sorry I couldn't be there today. However, you do have a handout for today. We're going to take some guided notes just very briefly, and then you are going to play a game. So it's a mathematical game, but a game of strategy, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So bear with me. So first, you should have received this handout right here. Okay, this is our Renaissance Fibonacci sequence. Go ahead and put this in your binders and make sure you add this to your table of contents. So it's your Renaissance Fibonacci sequence, so FS. Okay, and make sure you put your number right up here in this top right hand corner. If you're not sure what number it is for your class, go ahead and ask a neighbor. Okay, so you should have this listed in your table of contents in your binders, and you should have your number here in the top right hand corner. And then we're going to answer some of these questions right here. Okay, and this one, when we come to filling in these missing numbers by the pattern, once you get a couple of these from the PowerPoint, you'll do these last three, these big three on your own. Okay, so, and then this down here is number 4. We'll use this for the activity that you're going to use. So this page is hole punched. However, this grid is going to be cut out. This grid is going to be cut out. So when you do that, just cut your paper right here, okay, where these boxes start, because your page does still need to be in your binder with the 2 hole punches that are up here towards the top. Okay, so let's get started. All right, today we are going to be discussing some numbers. So if you noticed in the front hallway for our conceptual hallway, there was that big like tower of numbers with all that yarn attached to it. That's what we're talking about today. So in the beginning, in the early 1200s, an Italian mathematician, Leonardo of Pisa, nicknamed Fibonacci, discovered that most things in nature follow a set pattern. This interesting math concept is called Fibonacci sequence. So the Fibonacci sequence is the series of numbers 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34. So take just a minute and see if you can figure out the pattern here. Look at those numbers again, okay? Take just a minute, look at these numbers, and see if you see some kind of pattern happening here, okay? So, think about it, and the pattern, the next number is found by adding up the 2 numbers before it. The 2 is found by adding the 2 numbers before it. So 1 plus 1 equals 2. The 3 is found by adding the 2 numbers before it. 1 plus 2 equals 3. And the 5 is found by 2 plus 3, and so on and so on. So look at that list of numbers there on your page. And you can see that the 2 numbers that come before the next number, okay, in the sequence, is the summation of those 2, okay? So right here, I'm going to just take a second to let you take this down in your notes, that the next number is found by adding up the 2 numbers before it. So you can actually do this and go for, gosh, as many numbers as you can conceive to add, which is really neat. Really, really cool. All right, so here's a bit of a longer list, okay? Some of these you'll have there on your page. Others you'll need to fill in. not going to read all these numbers because this is kind of a lot, but I do ask you on your page to see if you can figure out the next few numbers. So we're going to skip the riddle because I want to talk to you about that one when I come back. All right, so what you are going to do is you are going to play Fibonacci NIM. Okay, so there are circles in this example, but I've got squares for you because those are a lot easier to cut out than circles. So what you'll do is you are going to color or just put a little design or your initials in each one of those boxes on your page. Okay, each one of these on your page. Okay, and just something really quick. It doesn't have to be some really intricate design because the longer it takes you to design these, the less time you have to actually play in class. So go ahead and in a minute, not right this second, you're going to design your tiles. Okay, and then you are going to play this game with your classmates. Okay, every time you play, you need to rotate classmates. Okay, so you'll be using squares and you're going to set them up in a grid like this. Okay, so just 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Kind of the same way you do bowling pins at a bowling alley. Okay, or just a tower, a nice little pyramid. So what you'll do is two people will play and you'll use one person's tiles, one person's squares to start with, okay? And you can just decide whose you want to use. You'll need your counters. And so the object of the game is to be the last person to get to take away one of these circles or squares in your case, okay? So to play, the first player will remove any number of your counters, okay? You have to take at least one, but you can't take all of them because if you take all of them, the game would end on the first move every single time because you want to be the one to take away the last one. So you have to take at least one, but you can't take them all, okay? Then the second player, player 2, gets to do the same thing. So each player takes as many as they want, but the player has to take at least one counter, but no more than 2 times the number that the other player took. So if I were to take 1 and you were playing against me, how many could you take? Well, you could take 1 or you could take 2 because you can only take up to 2 times the amount that I took. And 2 times 1 is 2. Okay? So if I take 2, okay, if I took 2, you'd be allowed to just take 1, or you could take 2 or 3 or 4, but you would have to stop at 4 because 4 is 2 times what I took. It's twice as many as I took. You can't go over twice as many, okay? So you must take at least one counter, but no more than 2 times as many, no more than double of what the first player takes before your turn. The winner is the player who takes up the last counter, okay? So when you get ready to start, you'll start with a board that looks like this, okay? So here's an example game. This symbol right here shows that 1 has been taken away. So each person takes as many as he or she wants, but the player must take at least one counter and no more than 2 times the number the other player took. So player 1 took 2, which means the second player can take 1, 2, 3, or 4. And it can be from anywhere, okay? But they chose to take 3. Well, after player 2 went, this is all that's left, is everything here, okay? So then player 1 decided, oh, well, they took 3, so I'm going to take 3 as well. Then the second player goes, and the second player says, well, I only want to take 2. And the game keeps going. So player 1 could take, player 1 might want to take, let's see, only one because you can only, I'm sorry, player one could take 1, 2, 3, or 4. But if player one, because you could take double what they took, if player four, I'm sorry, if player one took 4, that means player two would win because player two would get to take just the one that's left. So maybe if player one took just these 3, then guess what? Player two could still win because they could take 2. But if player one only took 1, player 2 could only take 1 or 2. This is where the strategy comes in. You have to think about what the person that you are playing against is able to do. Okay? So, once you get ready to play that game, you are going to first color in. Okay? You're going to take all of your squares from this page. Okay? You're going to color or mark them all up. You're going to cut them all out, and you're going to have about 5 to 10 minutes to color and cut all of these out, okay? And then you're going to start playing with them, okay? On your Google Classrooms, okay? So all of you who might need your device, just in case you want a hint about how to play this, on your Google Classrooms, I have posted a instructional video on how to play this game in case you need a little bit more direction, and a link to a website that tells you more about the game if you need a little bit of help, okay? But all of it is going to be right there in your Google Classroom under Fibonacci NIM, okay? But you're going to cut and color these, and then you're going to play at least 3 games, okay? So when you play your 3 games, you're going to put your name and your opponent's name, whoever you're playing against, and then you're going to circle whichever one of you wins. And then you're going to move on to a new player. So don't play the same person twice in your first 3 games, okay? So for the rest of class, we're going to play these games and see how many you can win, okay? So have fun, good luck, and try to keep up with your little squares because we're hopefully going to play again later this week after we're done with each of our activities and see our improvement. All right, have fun, guys. Thanks. Bye.